afternoon, 3 presentations showing efficacy of biofumigation and biosolarisation have been shared in the 4 sessions. But not only successful cases have been explained. Also, mistakes and bad results have been shown. The knowledge exchange is our main goal. Today, we have tried to spread the use of these techniques and the necessity of applying this knowledge in order to get success on controlling the diseases. Spreading the best practices for soil health is key to improve the management of European growing systems. We are using our methods, our tools, but surely you have great ideas to share with us. This is the subject of the next panel, where Bruno Holler will again explore this survey together with the facilitators. Bruno, together with the Swiss team of the project, is preparing a report with your feedback in the workshop and your feedback when you visit our website. Please, Bruno, take the floor.
Yeah, dear colleagues, thank you for the floor. Like this morning with Stefan, we would like to have a short summary from you about the discussion you had in your sessions. The most important for us in the Best for Soil project is to share our experience and to see how you use the videos, the fact sheets, and the databases. How do you share them with the practice? I will start like this morning with Jose. Could you tell us, please, what you discussed in your group?
Hello, Bruno. Hello, Miguel.
Hello.
Hello. From our discussion, we have concluded that sometimes there is over-information and a saturation of professionals that normally don't have too much time to find the information that they need. We conclude that the use of bots that interpret the question and can reflect the answer from the information in Best for Soil could be really useful. That can work with social networks such as WhatsApp, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter. Up to date, here in Spain, we have performed more than 30 promotional actions in Spain for the presentation of the project and also for the dissemination of videos, fact sheets, and databases. These promotional actions have been carried out through national and local newspapers, as well as digital journals, divulgative journals, posts in recognized agro websites, also in institutional websites. And even another more example, mass mailing through the contact network of the Spanish Society of Organic Farming, among others. Likewise, we have organized and participated in 8 meetings up to date, virtual and presential meeting. In this regard, in the last meeting, we have a presential meeting with advisor. It was 2 weeks ago, and I have to tell you that it was very pleasant experience after so many months of virtual meetings. We have also performed meeting with teachers and students from agrarian schools, meeting with young farmers, or as an example, we participate in an online event organized by the National Rural Network, an organization dependent of the General Directorate for Rural Development, dependent of the Ministry of Agriculture. This event brought together different operational groups and innovative projects with themes in agricultural plant health. And these are some of the examples of our action and our feedback with the discussion this afternoon.
Thank you very much. Very encouraging, your news, how you spread out this information. We are also very happy if you give us feedback, maybe also on the homepage. You have a link to the survey. If we can improve something in our videos, databases, and so on, maybe in some countries we have to bring in other topics or to present it in another way. So thank you very much for your feedback, Jose. I give the floor now, I invite to come on the stage Maria from Italy. What did you discuss in your group? How is the work going on in Italy? Are you there? Sometimes with a small delay. Yes,
okay,
I'm happy you're appearing here. Thank you.
Yes. Hello, Bruno. Nice to meet you here, and as well like Miguel. The discussion related to the best for soil tools available on the website showed an high interest, and they appreciate who had opportunity to see them, appreciated them, and said that they are well done and very useful to spread the information that Best for Soil want to disseminate to practitioners and to clever farmer, we can say. Is maybe less easy to reach a common farmer with such kind of material, because they are not so used to have a look at fact sheet or even video by themselves, if there is not an introduction done by somebody else. For such kind of public, according to the comments that were discussed in the section, that it would be very interesting to have practical examples, and maybe to involve or to not involve, but to extend and to, yes, also involve some experimental farm where or some just fields where to show practically through some visit organized to such kind of contest, in order to spread to a larger kind of end users of this practice. As CRTV in Italy, we are quite used to such kind of a way to disseminate information in a very practical way, and we think that when COVID will allow us also to organize such kind of event, it would be very useful to combine the dissemination of this practice together with some experimentation action that we have, for example, in some operational groups, in order to give a larger diffusion and dissemination of this practice, also to the less smart, let's say, farmers. Okay, so that would be a way to give a larger dissemination of the best for soil practices. And for this point of view, I think that is all. One additional comment was on the database that was very well appreciated for its general organization and so on. It would be useful to have additional information, like there are already available information of details for some North European examples when clicking on the cells. So it would be very important to increase and improve the systems with additional information also for the context of the Mediterranean combination. And we involved also Giovanna Kurt on this, and maybe she can help us with some information that I will transmit and I will give to you later on.
Yeah, Maria, thank you very much. You give us a big parcel of hints and tips what to do. And yeah, the project is not yet finished, and work on soil-borne diseases and how to prevent them will going on. Thank you very much, and a lot of work for the advisors between us and also the farmers. Thank you. I go on Marie from France, or will it be Charlotte? But I was told that it's Marie. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're coming up. Thank you.
Hello.
What did you discuss in France? In France,
we had a very good afternoon with a lot of interactions and a lot of questions, and very good remarks about Best for Soil website and videos and tools developed for this project. However, all those tools are not well known in France, so we need a lot of work to disseminate this knowledge. So Maria and Jose said already a lot about tools dissemination, but we have to highlight the demand for field demonstration, which is very useful for growers, for producers, and explanation on open field demonstration. We had also many suggestions about diffusion by LinkedIn and the YouTube channel and so on, which is not really disseminated in France. And also a remark, I think it has not been mentioned. Some participants ask for participating in the research. Like Morocco, Algeria, and Tunisia, they are also interested in the tools and everything that is done in Best for Soil. So this can be also a way to disseminate information.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much, Marie. That's very helpful. Also, your remarks, and of course, we will collect them also after then all the stuff you wrote on the Padlet. That will be very helpful, the work you did in the background, and we will share that also in the project, of course. Thank you for this information and this summary. And now I go over to Kypros, are you there? Can we reach you? We know you had some technical problems, but hopefully we can get you in on the stage. Oh, it works. I'm happy.
Me
Welcome.
too. What I'm not so happy about is that I had no response whatsoever from the participants.
Yeah.
Yeah, even at the video showdown, I had some chat conversation about with a guy who noticed something in the videos and he wanted some explanation. But regarding the Best for Soil webpage and the databases, the fact sheets, all that stuff, any recommendations, and especially at the last part of the presentation, I got no response. I mean, I asked them verbally. I wrote down in the chat, but I don't know.
You can't force them to speak. That's clear.
Yeah, but it's weird when you have I mean, I had 10 to 12 people viewing, and did they actually viewing, or did they just let their laptops on and just wasn't looking at the screen? I'm not saying anything, but it was weird. I only conversed with a guy, and he didn't came back when I asked, especially about the last part. I gave it some time, but I didn't get anything, unfortunately.
What do you guess? Did they had a contact with Best for Soil before? Do you know? Do they know the project, or is it, or is there a lack of information? Have you any assumption about that?
I don't know. I don't know what. I don't think they had any contact with Best for Soil before. Of course,
okay.
They weren't any Cypriots there, as when I looked at the names, I couldn't tell if they were any Cypriots there. Most of them were Greek.
Greek, okay.
Therefore, I didn't inform them myself.
Mm-hmm.
It must have been their first time.
Okay.
Although they weren't so alive in the whole discussion part.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
I hope they at least watched the presentations, and maybe they didn't want to talk.
We have to accept it as a first contact. So we'll see if there is some follow-up also from the Greek colleagues. But thank you very much also for your input. Are there any other observations, or it's okay so?
No, I don't have anything to add to what the other colleagues said, to tell you the truth.
So thank you very much also to you, Kypros. And so I give the floor back to Miguel for the discussion about the technical topics. Thank you very much to invite me here.
Thank you, Bruno. Thank you to all the facilitators for the good remarks that will help us to improve, for sure, the dissemination and the quality of the dissemination of best for soil, because we are sure that this is necessary, a good level of dissemination of our work. Well, now we are going to start the discussion regarding the topic of this afternoon. The complexity of soil is high. When a soil-borne disease appears, all alarms sound in the farm. And we know that soil-borne diseases are not easy to manage. Conventional fumigation practices are under continuous revision in Europe, and new approaches are required to reach the objectives of the European Green Deal. We know that. So biofumigation and biosolarisation emerge as practices quite efficient against nematodes and fungi. But it's necessary a good application of the techniques. We have seen that. The dates, the temperatures, watering, choosing the right species for biofumigation. Each crop has different requirements and different possibilities. So different solutions are needed. The grower needs security. The role of the advisor is key, and the results from research need to be transferred. Well, now I would like to hear what topics have been discussed in each country. We can start with Jose, where a great continuous debate has filled the whole session. And of course, you can ask questions to the speakers because they are here, and we can make a final debate with all of them. Jose, please, let us know what happened there.
Hello again, Miguel. Hello, Mediterranean colleagues. In the Spanish session, the presentation on the topic of biofumigation and biosolarisation has covered our expectative. There has been the continuous debate with the participation of experts from different Spanish areas and crops. Really fructiferous. We had an intense debate in the different presentations. The first one, it saw application of different species for biofumigation, and it's very interesting how these plants can be generated in the fields. It's important how to feed these biofumigants into the production processes to produce enough biomass and also carry out a disinfection process. We have talked about the necessity of these plants, especially in organic crops, for recover the fertility of the soil, because these plants not only produce bioactive compounds, they also provide organic matter, promote the mobility of nutrients, and they get to finish with the fatigue. Soil fatigue, of soil productive. On the other hand, an example of the use in the southwest of Spain it's complicated to adjust the time to reach the temperature that could facilitate the release of these active bioactive compounds. They have tried different biofumigant species and also pellets of Brassica carinata, which also allows to adjust the application dosage, and they did not get satisfactory results. In control condition, it seems to give results that in the field have not been effective, even if covered with plastic for a biosolarisation. Pellets in control situation work very well, but not in fields. They suspect that the microbiota itself can break down biofumigant substances more quickly. So microbiota is essential in the soil. These results reveal the importance of dosage in biofumigation. You have the doses where they can be useful for soil restoration, and you have the doses where you have the possibility that it is biofumigant. In the second presentation, it has been commented that are many organic materials that can be very useful in the Mediterranean area, and all of them are potentially biofumigant. It has been noted that pathogens can always be present, and doing nothing can be really dangerous. So we have to be prepared. Jose Manuel Torres said that until the indicators do not indicate that you have 4% of organic matter in your soil, it's important to make the contribution of any organic matter. You can provide up to almost 50% of nutrients that production will need later. This only with plant debris. A curious fact is that the first experience of managing plant remains manually as organic matter was more profitable than calling a company to remove those plant remains, those plant debris. In addition, using biodegradable materials would facilitate the composting of the entire crop. There is a main question, there is a common question, and this is for any of the speaker. Attendees want to know what are the best conditions for the practice of biofumigation. They ask what is the most important parameter. Is the temperature for an optimal process? This question is to Giovanna, Matthias, Michaela. I think they can answer this question very well.
So I think that we can get the feedback from any of you, or even for you three. We can share 5 persons the screen. Matthias is connected. Okay.
Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I cannot see you. A little bit confusing. In general, as I said previously in the Spanish session,
Yes.
temperature is not playing a major role. We see good biofumigation crops from Denmark down to Arizona and Florida. So temperature itself doesn't play a major role, I would say. Well, what I would like to point out in this moment is that biofumigation is not easy. If it would be easy, the Best for Soil project and network wouldn't be needed. It's a very multifactorial game. There are many things that have an impact on the biofumigation. And if you don't have experiences on your farm with the crops that you grow, you really have to have an advisor in the beginning to talk about the problems you have on your farm initially. We have been asked for biofumigation in apple crop, for example, in Alpenland, which is a big apple area southwest of Hamburg. We have been asked for asparagus in Spain, in Granada area. Very challenging. But all in one, really, you need to have somebody to help you on the farm with your specific problem. There are big crops in onion or in carrot, where you have repetitive problems, and you can apply some kind of recipe for this big major crops. But the more special the crop becomes, the more consultation you need in the beginning. Because, again, it is tricky. It would be easy. It would have a big marketing campaign, and it would have a different company name on it. Biofumigation is not easy in the beginning.
Okay, thank you very much, Matthias. Your answer. We had the answer in the Spanish session, but I thought this is a topic we have to discuss here with the rest of the Mediterranean colleagues. There has been many questions that have been solved in the session. So this was the main question for us. So we can to continue with the colleagues from other country.
Okay, Jose, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Matthias, for the answer. And now we can move to Italy. We have new questions to the participants. So they have joined the Giovanna Curso in the meeting, in the session, but probably they have questions for the other people. Oh. So, well. Now, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Okay, now it is the time for Maria Gracia. Please get in. I will search for this sound problem. Now?
Okay, thank you, Miguel. We also had a quite interesting discussion, a bit less participated respect to that of this morning, but probably because these practices are not so diffused like it was for compost this morning. However, an high interest on the presentation that we heard was the interest was very high, and maybe a reason why it is not so diffused as practice in Italy is we cannot exclude that it is also for still the availability of the chemical disinfection that is surely simpler and still possible for some crops like vegetable crops in particular. However, there is awareness that we have to go on the direction of new, more sustainable approach and techniques. Consequently, the discussion going on and the interest was related also to the fact to have the possibility to see practical example and to have a practical and concrete touch of how this technique can be applied in our condition and in the different condition, because we had the luck to have Giovanna Curto with us, who answered already to many questions that came out during the discussion. But a general consideration about this technique is that the best way to evaluate its application and its applicability, because several variables have to be considered according to the description given during the different video, probably is to integrate and combine this technique, biofumigation, for example, together with the common practice carried out in the cropping systems. So, for sure, combining it in a typical rotation with the common organic matter addition, but taking in consideration also the irrigation systems, because there is not only one system, each farm has a case, and we cannot make all cases for sure, but it would be very useful in order to analyze the benefit and to choose which one combination can be more appropriate for the different condition, to have concrete cases to analyze and to evaluate. And that is a push to organize something in order to give a possibility to evaluate the technique in a real concrete systems with some of the typical variable agronomical practices that have to be carried out in a cultivation systems and in a farm, of course. Several questions were expressed to Giovanna Curto, and one that I can report here, just as example, is, for example, before which main crop is better to apply biofumigation and how to select the cover crop. Is just an example of a question among those that came out, like if biofumigation can be applied in fruit crop orchard, like that was already answered by Giovanna Curto, that said yes, and also by some other experiences that were carried out on peaches, for example, to recover problems due to Armillaria mellea, and with interesting good results. So that is one question that can be done, can be addressed to Giovanna. I can repeat it. Then I have a couple of questions, one for Torres and one for Matthias or Michaela. Before which main crop is better to apply biofumigation and how to select the cover crop? Thank you, Giovanna.
It depends if we want to control nematodes. In this case, it's better to apply biofumigation before the cultivation of a crop sensible to nematodes. But we have to apply biofumigation in a period when nematodes are present in the first 30 centimeters of soil. And this is after a crop, a sensitive crop, a sensible crop, susceptible crop, and the period, the better period is in the late summer and autumn, because in that period nematodes are very important at high level in the soil, and the population is great. So in this period, biofumigation is the best moment until November, more or less October, because temperature influence not the biofumigation, but nematodes presence in the soil. So in this case, it's better to use biofumigation until nematodes are present in the soil. So the two periods in which we can grow a cover crop for biofumigation is from the beginning of September to the end of October, more or less, or in the late spring until the beginning of summer, more or less. This is the two period the most suitable for nematode control. And in general, if the farm is quite wide for having a good rotation of the different field, every year you can apply a cover crops for biofumigation, knowing where are the infested fields by nematodes, and or consequently also for improve the organic matter in the soil as a beneficial effect, not only for nematodes control, but also for other purpose of fertilization. I don't know if I have clear in my answer.
Thank you, Giovanna. Thank you. Well, if I can ask another question to Torres, may I have time, Miguel?
Yeah, we have time.
Okay. One question that came out on the covering of crop residue in your greenhouse. The question is, how can you be sure and how can you avoid to spread potential transmissible pathogens like virus that can be on the crop when you cover the crop residue into the soil? It can be a risky practice, mostly for transmissible virus that can transmit by material, by contact, I mean. How can you be sure that this practice will not make this risk?
Well, I don't know if Jose Manuel is still here, but I think that I can answer this question because we are very unfortunately we are very used to manage the virus diseases in our crops, and if you have symptoms of PEPMV or Tobamo virus, these plants are not available for using in biofumigation or biosolarisation. It's not recommended. If you have varieties without resistance to Tobamo viruses, for example, it's very, very, very possible that you can get symptoms in your crop. Or if a virus like Pepino dulce mosaic virus, that it was very, very common in the past, is in your crop, you cannot use your plants for biofumigation or biosolarisation. It's not recommended. By viruses, we have a study of the destruction or the availability of viral infection, there is a study on composting sweet pepper infested with PMMV, with the pepper model mild virus. And after 60 days of composting in summer in south of Spain, the virus was inactivated. But this is composting, it's not biofumigation. So we have no references on these viruses, on biofumigation or biosolarisation. So.
Okay, no, just because I think it's quite a delicate issue and should not be
not very clever, not very smart.
In consideration. Okay, thank you, Miguel, for the answer. And then I have last comment to Matthias or Michaela Schatotter. I have to apologize on how I pronounce their name, sorry. But how long is the effect of biofumigation? They said, if I am not wrong in the video, that could be also of 2 years long. But on the other hand, during the discussion, it came out that sometimes for example, against the nematodes, it cannot guarantee to cover the problem even for the season along the same year. So what's your suggestion? And if I can ask you a second question.
No, one after the other. So sorry, okay. I forget. So
sorry.
It don't takes for a long time. It is a short period. It is a biological suppression of the nematode, and you push them down, but you don't kill them totally. It is not like a chemical fumigation. So it is a little bit, you make them crazy, you reduce them a little bit, and your main crop has the time to grow longer and better. But they will recover. So it is just that you get your main crop a little bit advantage.
Okay. And
it is biological, and it works in the whole biological range. That means by rooting, by offering organic matter, by being not toxic, by being very, very cheap. So, but it is not completely dead.
Yeah, okay. So to create a kind of balancing between the nematode population and antagonism environment of them.
No. It is a threat or some help or the good things you want, and therefore you have to look for that you force the good antagonist, the organic matter, that you have the special combination brassicas before tomatoes or cucumbers that works. It doesn't work everything. Maybe if you grow bananas, then sorghum is a better fruit crop. I don't know, but it could be. So
do you have experience to use biofumigation in orchards against some pathogens? Do you have experience?
Be more concrete. Yeah, which I think mostly in they want more reduction. They do not want a little bit. There you need nearly something like a chemical. There we tried that we use the seed meal out of Brassica juncea and put it on the field. There are some trials in Dutch and Danish orchards, but that is nearly like a chemical destruction. So it's a lot, and with all the negative effects, you kill everything. It is also good in weed killing, but there's a lot of nitrogen which goes down. So I prefer the moderate way.
Yeah. And if I can ask you the last question, then I shut up. In the video is highlighted that we have to take care of fertilization, mostly related to nitrogen, when applying biofumigation. In the case where biofumigation is applied in Italy, normally no additional nutrition is done. But what is your suggestion?
You need fertilizer, because you want in a very short time a lot of mass production. And if you especially want biofumigation with brassicas, you have to help the plant with sulfur. Because of the pure air we have, plants have a little bit a lack in getting sulfur. So if you look for this biofumigation, you have to add a sulfur component with the fertilizer, because it is a nitrogen, sulfur, or the element, the third one. It is this special element you need to release. Matthias showed it also in the presentation.
Yeah, yes, I remember that was showed the importance to add sulfur. Yeah.
And that is because now we have clean air for, so we have to put additional nutrients to the plants. They cannot get it out of the air.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Michaela.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Miguel, I think that these were the most, well, not important, but the not answered questions that we had from our section. So I leave to you the floor and say goodbye to everybody. Bye.
Okay, goodbye, Maria. Maria Gracia. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for the questions, and thank you to the speakers for the nice answers. Now from France, Marie, please let us know what happened in your session. I could see that Francois Villeneuve has shared his experience with the participants, and many questions were discussed in your session.
Yes, I will make it quicker. As you said, many questions have been answered, but what is important is that biofumigation interests a lot of people, but a lot of work is still needed. Some research have to be done to better know the impact and the efficacy of cover crop on each pathogens, soil-borne pathogens, and we still need information about the comparison between cover crops, the efficacy, and also in terms of practical use. When can we find the crops? When do we have to use it, and so on. One very interesting question remains. Maybe Matthias can answer. It is about the impact of biofumigation on soil biodiversity. You say that there is a very important impact, but do you have some more information about this impact?
Sorry, can you repeat your question? I think I didn't get it.
You said the question is about the impact of biofumigation on soil biodiversity.
You mean the beneficial organism?
Yeah.
Yeah, I said in my presentation, and that's a very lucky point and a very good question. Luckily, most of the beneficial organisms have a much higher tolerance to isothiocyanate to the toxic gases than pathogens. And this is a discrepancy of the sensitivity that we should take benefit from. We are lucky. We don't risk any damage on the useful, beneficial soil organism. I cannot talk, for every single organism and the soil biolog, but most of the common soil organisms that are useful for the plant development, are useful for the soil, have a much higher tolerance.
Okay, so one remark was done by a French on the French session. It was about the combination between biofumigation and use of compost. So of course you already say that we have to combine methods to increase the efficacy of biofumigation. So some technical points remains, such as the delay between both techniques. If we apply compost, we have to wait some days after the biofumigation. I don't know if someone has results on this combination of practices.
Yes, again, if you do the biofumigation, you should wait 10 to 14 days, because that's a common guideline. Especially if you sow onions or carrots in the field with the seed directly in the field, because the ITC has an inhibiting effect on the seed germination. It can, as Michaela said previously, you can even control weed with a rape meal that you can put on the soil. So it has a suppressive effect on the germination, so you better wait 10 to 14 days. And then the organic matter is degraded a lot. ITC is volatile and should be out of the soil.
Okay. Thank you. The last quick question was maybe for Giovanna. It was about the other types of biofumigation. You mentioned mustard meal and pellets. So is it easy to find those products, and which efficacy can we hope with those products compared to fresh organic matters?
Okay, the seed meal is more quick in the effect, and the comparison is possible. The quantity of biofumigation matter is higher in the seed meal. We name it seed meal the pellet because are the extraction of proteic part from oil after the oil extraction. It is important the use of seed meals when we don't want to occupy the soil for a long period, because we don't need an increase of organic matter in the soil, because surely the seed meal is as a quantity of organic matter is surely lower, most lower of a cover crop, but is useful overall in protected situation in greenhouse, and when we want to express a biofumigation more similar to the chemical fumigation. So very often we can use also the pellet biofumigation together with the chopping and the soil application of a cover crop to enhance the effect, to increase the effect of biofumigation. So as a starter, I can say the condition is the same. You have to distribute the seed meal on the soil, and then to plug in with the mechanical equipment, and then an irrigation for starting the hydrolysis reaction. So I think that this is the different meanings of the two practices and the different situation in which you can apply. On the other hand, the seed meals, the cost of seed meals are higher, quite higher to be used in full field. So it's a good compromise to use a part of pellet during the plowing of the cover crops.
Okay. Thank you. Miguel, it was my last question.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marie. Thank you, Giovanna. Thank you, everyone. We hope that these 2 sessions have covered part of your expectations. From my side, it's been a very, very good experience. I have learned that there is a number of knowledge in Europe ready to be used, but a lot of things to research and to do, also on dissemination. Concerning biofumigation and solarization, there is here that we have an efficient technique that needs very specific conditions to get a successful application. And today we can conclude that we are on the way to reach this point of increasing the health of our soils, and it is our pleasure to be useful, and we like to join us tomorrow, and also whenever you need it in our Best for Soil channels, our website and our YouTube channel. Have a good evening. Please keep healthy, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you very much to everyone, all the facilitators, the speakers, and the participants in the workshop. Also the technical team in Seven Reasons that is helping all the time to make this a big success. Thank you very much, and